I published my first book, Given, in 2009, and it was both a memoir and an anthology of poetry that I had begun writing when I was 13 or 14, maybe even a little earlier, following the death of my mother, Vivian Bradvica. Um, my mother died from breast cancer when I was 10, and she went into remission after the first time, and then it came back, and she died rather quickly. And obviously, it had a big impact on my life at 10 years old. And so I started writing poetry to both cope and just because I loved writing, and I'd always written. Um, so I published Given in my senior year of high school, and I printed about 500 copies, and I sold them, and I donated a portion to breast cancer research. And when I republished Given 8 years later, I wrote a foreword and I included a poem from college called My Mother Said, which I wrote after being inspired by, I believe it was Villanelle style. So this is the poem My Mother Said. My mother said, "'Tis true, the seasons turn, and all things end, yes, even loved ones die. Before she passed, she said it's good to cry. Her face was pale, and tears welled in her eyes. This too shall pass. Yes, time will soothe the burn, my mother said. 'Tis true, the seasons turn. The winter's snow resists the summer's siege. Then tears in rivers flow to fall from cheeks. Before she passed, she said it's good to cry. Before she passed, I thought she'd never die. Awake at night I toss, now knowing why. My mother said, "'Tis true, the seasons turn." Her funeral filled all the church's pews. I knelt and hated God. I mustn't lie. Before she passed, she said it's good to cry. This too shall pass. Yes, time will soothe the burn, my mother said. 'Tis true, the seasons turn, and all things end, yes, even loved ones die. Before she passed, she said it's good to cry.